Hello and welcome to episode 125 of the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Bunny, and I am recording in sunny Florida. You might notice I am in a different location, and I will talk about that at the end of the podcast. I do have a few personal announcements, and I will talk about all that stuff at the end in case that doesn't interest you. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, 2014. It's relatively early in the morning, so the sun is not quite as bright as I would like for the lighting in here, but that's okay. We'll deal with what we have. And I am Sock Buddy pretty much everywhere on the internet, such as Plurk, Instagram, Google+, Twitter, and YouTube. The blog is at sockbunnyknitandfit.blogspot.com. And if you are a new viewer, this is not going to be a typical episode. Again, just like last episode, I'm not going to do all of my normal topics that I talk about. This is going to be a relatively short episode. And my allergies are driving me crazy, so I have the puffy eyes and the sniffly nose, and it's just that time of year. Thus, the title of the podcast, Spring Has Sprung. So here in Florida, spring is full on. The trees have been pollinating, and it's just been crazy. So definitely one of the prime allergy times for me. So I feel, sort of blah, but other than that, everything's okay. If you will remember on episode 123, 2 episodes ago, I showed some beautiful fiber that you can win from Jen at Daisy Knits. Her shop is daisyknits.etsy.com. So hop on over to the Ravelry group and enter that contest to win. And I will draw the winner on the first podcast that I record in April. And like I said, I do have some personal stuff to talk about at the end, but let's get right into what are we going to talk about today. Two subjects, basically, knitting and fitness, the two main subjects of the podcast. So that's what we're going to talk about. So finished objects, I'm still in my obsessive dishcloth knitting stage. Yes, I have knit more dishcloths. I haven't had very much knitting time. As you might remember on the last podcast, I said I was starting a new job, and I did start the new job, and I really like it, and I can tell I'm going to be happy there. But working full time does cut into your knitting time. Darn it. So, but I am still obsessively knitting dishcloths. So I did finish my Daryl Waltrip cloth. And this is called the DW cloth or Daryl Waltrip cloth, and it's slip stitches. And as I mentioned last time, this is a very good cloth for beginner knitters. Basically, you just have to know how to knit, purl, and slip stitches. That is it. And it gives this really nice texture. It's really a great pattern for variegated yarns because it breaks up the variegation. It's one of my favorite dishcloth patterns. So that is one. And then I made two just plain garter stitch dishcloths. Here's one. This is Peaches and Cream. I bought it, I believe, at Walmart. And it's this sort of color sort of reminds me of lipsticks, like different shades of lipstick for some reason. So there's one. I haven't woven in the ends yet. And another one I finished last night. So yes, the dishcloth knitting continues, and like I said, I'm going to roll with it for as long as it takes. I'll have plenty to give away as gifts and so forth. And right now, that's what my brain can handle. So that's what I'm doing. I have been working on my March socks. If you're a new viewer, I'm doing a personal sock club. I put 12 balls of sock yarn in brown paper bags, and each month I am drawing a bag and knitting whatever's in there. And so it's my own personal sock club. So this is my pair for March. This is my very own color that I dyed myself, and it is called Greyhounds on the Beach. And this is one of the two socks. Do you remember last time I recorded? They were both attached to each other, and I was doing two at a time. I don't like two at a time. I got about 40 rows in, and it was just annoying me. So I can do it. I just don't enjoy it, and that's fine. Everybody likes different things. So the socks are two separate socks right now. So the first sock, I think both socks I was probably about right here. And then, so this is actually the first sock. And the first sock I got past the heel turn. Beautiful. I love this yarn, if I may say so myself. And this one I did the heel turn and I picked up the gusset stitches, and I'm working on the gusset decreases. And I really like these colors a lot. Oceany colors. They're making me happy. We've got some interesting pooling and flashing going on, which you know I love. This is what it looks like in the ball. So I do like knitting two simultaneously on separate needles, but I do not enjoy knitting two at the same time. Just not my cup of tea. I gave it another fair shot. I had tried it before. Just not for me. So I say if you haven't tried it, try it. You never know. You might love it. I do not. So those are my socks. And we do have a sweater knit along going on. I know you might think I forgot about that, but I haven't. We have a sweater knit along and it ends on March 31st. So you had to have cast on an adult sweater January 1st or after. And then finish it, completely finished, ready to wear, ends woven in, buttons sewn on, everything ready to go, photographed in the Ravelry group, completely done by March 31st. And I will close that thread, probably April 1st, I'll close the thread to give you plenty of time on March 31st to do it. And then I will draw the winner on the first podcast in April. There you go. So my sweater, speaking of not liking two at a time, if you will remember, a while back I was working on both sleeves simultaneously. I don't like that either. So the sleeves have been separated, and here's one of them. Wow, that's some exciting knitting. And the other, I put on a stitch holder. So I got this far knitting them both simultaneously, and I was like, no, I'm over it. So I am doing them separately, and that's okay. I mean, it does make more sense to do them simultaneously because then you know they're going to be exactly the same, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, this is pretty simple, and I'm just increasing every fifth row. So I'm not too worried about them not being exactly the same. So there you go. It's going to be, of course, you know, seamed. And if you are a new viewer, what this is I have this great yarn, and I decided just to knit sort of like a very comfortable, loose, boxy sweatshirt type of sweater. So the yarn is Baby Alpaca DK, which is ridiculously soft, by Plymouth Yarn, and it's a coral color, a little bit lighter than what you're seeing there. And basically what I did is I knit the front, it's a rectangle, there's the front, and then I knit the back, and it's a rectangle, or wait, or did I do the back and then the front? I don't remember. I think I did the back and then the front, who knows. But anyway, so there we go. So those will be seamed together, and then you knit, I think they're trapezoids, for the sleeves. You start with a small amount and then it increases up, and then it'll just all be seamed together. I don't know if mine's going to be done by March 31st, but I'm not eligible for prizes, so that's okay. Just doing the best I can. And believe it or not, increasing every fifth row does take more brain power than I have most nights after work. So, you know, when you start a new job, you're learning everything, and it takes a lot of brain cells. So there we go. So most of the nights in the evening, I just want simple knitting like dishcloth or socks. So that is all the knitting. Believe it or not, that's it. So we're going to talk about fitness, our other favorite subject here. Every month in the Sock Bunny group, we have a fitness along. And any day you work out at least 30 consecutive minutes, or if you wear a pedometer and it registers 10,000 steps or more, you can enter one post per day in the Sock Bunny group for that month and be eligible for prizes. And right now, since I am starting work full time, I'm not dying, so the prize for at least the next couple of months is going to be any Ravelry giftable pattern up to $10. So I did draw the February winner. And the February winner, well, first let me say we had 55 people participating, which is awesome. And congratulations to everybody who was able to post workouts, because that is really, really good. And we had 610 posts, and the winner for February was number 305, who is Lady Fernico, who is Marlisha, and she had 19 workouts in February. So you go, girl. So contact me and let me know which pattern, giftable pattern on Ravelry you want, up to $10, and congratulations. So keep posting those workouts. She's won more than once. So you can win as many times as I draw your name. So keep posting. Even if you've won before, keep on going. So that is it for the fitness. In the last couple of weeks, I've only worked out once. But again, I will talk about that momentarily in the personal section of the podcast. So that's it for all the knitting and fitness. So if you want to leave now, totally feel free to do so. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about been going on with me, and then it'll be a very short. This might even only be a 20-minute episode. So I know there's so many podcasts out there that you're totally fine with a short one, and you can catch up on the other ones. So I am going to be podcasting every other week for the at least foreseeable future. And that is for a few different reasons. And I want to tell you guys what is going on, just so you know what's going on and you don't think I'm just acting erratically for no reason. I have a good reason. So like I said, I did start a new job, and that's going really well. The job is at a doctor's office in Clearwater, and I am the administrative assistant. But for the last 2 weeks, I have been training to work the front desk, which, if you've ever even been to a doctor's office, can be very hectic. And but I'm enjoying it very much, and all of my coworkers are fantastic. I'm very, very blessed that God found this job for me. And I'm very, very, very grateful and very happy there. And I hope to always be happy there. And it is quite a drive, though. It's about 45 minutes from Tampa, where I had been living in Tampa. So if you'll notice, I am recording in a different location. I'm actually at a friend's house, and I've been staying with this friend for a while. Joe and I are getting a separation. We don't know how long we will be separated. It's a mutual thing. It's a long time coming. It's not a surprise. Let's just put it that way. It's mutual. We're both being very civil to each other. We're not fighting or anything like that. This is just to see where things go. Neither one of us has made a decision what the future holds and so forth. I do want to keep my private life as private as possible, though. So I won't be talking about this on the podcast because I don't think this is a place for it. I do want you to know what's going on. So if you see me podcasting in a new place, you're not freaking out or whatever. But, this is my personal life, even though, yes, I'm a public figure. I do want to keep this private. So, but of course, you guys do deserve to know what is going on. But I won't be sharing any details about what's going on because that doesn't really matter. That's between me and him. Like I said, I've been staying with a friend for a while, but I am going to be moving into an apartment in Clearwater, and it's going to be really close to work. So right now I'm commuting 45 minutes one way, and I will have like a 10-15 minute at most commute, which will be really nice. So since I've had such a long commute, I haven't really had, well, and also working all day, I haven't had the energy really to work out or even the willpower or desire to work out. So, and also plus it gets dark. By the time I get home and I go for a walk, it's starting to get dark. So, let's see, what else did I want to say? I do want to say, don't worry about me because I am okay. If you want to pray for me, go ahead, pray for me and for Joe. That's totally acceptable. And but don't feel like you need to worry about me or anything. You do not need to send me any gifts because I know some of you like to do that. Don't feel like that you need to do that. Everything is fine. I have everything I need for the apartment. And I'll be moving very shortly, so that's good. And what else? If you want to send me a virtual hug, feel free to send me a private message on Ravelry. But again, I don't want to post this all over the place on Ravelry because it's my personal business, and you know, I'm only telling you because you watch the podcast. Other people that don't watch the podcast, it really doesn't affect them, so they don't need to know, right? Let's see what else. Like I said, I'm going to be recording every other week because I am packing and working. So it takes a lot of time, and I won't have as much knitting to show. So, and doing the podcast does take some time. So doing it every other week, I think for a little while, will be a stress relief for me. And once I get settled into the apartment, I am going to start dyeing again, and I will, of course, be working out more and knitting more and all that. But the transition time is going to be just, of course, it's going to be chaos. If you expect it to be chaos, then it's not a shock when the chaos comes. So, like I said, I'm doing fine. Don't worry about me. And I do appreciate all of you who watch the podcast and the love that you guys give me. So, and I'm not going to cry. I always cry over emotional stuff. So, uh, everything works out the way it's supposed to. God is taking care of me. He has shown me that over and over recently, and I am very blessed. So I'm blessed to have all of you guys. Thank you for everything you do. And again, don't feel like you don't even need to message me. You can just say a little prayer for me, and that will be enough. So I'm going to go before I really start crying. I cry over commercials, so don't worry. So that's what's going on. I hope you have a great week. Keep on crafting. And don't forget to post your workouts. Don't forget to finish your sweaters and post those on time. And if you have any questions for me or for John, you can post those in the Ask Kimberly or John thread. So have a great week. Keep on crafting. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.